off to work with Andy at Parkfield, and I was able to see how No Outsiders evolved from the beginning and the impact it had on the children.
So we're really at the very beginning of our No Outsiders journey, and it all started when I actually saw one of your tweets on Twitter and started to research and look into it a little bit more. I then started to steal your assembly ideas, which you share very freely, and I was really struck by the simplicity of the message and just how accessible it was. And we decided to bring this to our school.
And the selling point at all times was to ensure that children, that our curriculum enhanced equality and equity, and that we are a diverse community.
It really fed into some of the relationship work that we've been doing in school.
We had a fantastically busy day where Andrew visited all of the classrooms, worked with all of our children and our staff, and supported them to break down the barriers of things being exclusive and break down the barriers of school not providing the safest space for children to be comfortable in who they are and comfortable in who they want to become.
I wanted to support pupils, support staff, to have some of the conversations that really needed to happen.
At that time, I'd been head teacher at the school quite some years. I'm probably talking now about 5 years. And the community were right by my side. We'd done diversity days. We'd done some fantastic summer fairs. The relationships were really strong. I'm a really listening head teacher, and it was working. And I really cared about the community. It was authentic. So if you put that together with a project that had been just dynamic before, then I felt that we got a strong foundation and we could go forward.
One of the key things is actually communicating, how you go around communicating and feeling it's like a safe space to have those conversations.
I think with any change, it's got to be right for the school, but I could only say you have to. It's brilliant. I think I've got some of the books here. The Girl with Two Dads. I've got My Shadow is Pink. The children love them.
The picture books really were just a way in to really bring to life some complex ideas for the children and to get them ready for the world into which they're going to be immersed in when they're older, and to start that in reception all the way through to year 6. For me, it was a really good scheme of work. But so much more than that. It wasn't just the books, it was about the whole ethos.
I think the most important thing is that you start your journey. Don't waste time feeling bad about where you are on your journey. You are where you are. Have those honest conversations about where you are, what you feel the challenges are for your school, or what you feel the strengths are for your school. Definitely get the book, have a look at the picture books yourself. Kind of temperature check where you think your staff are. And I think sometimes the panic that you have in your head, actually the sooner you do it and you try it. So we tried it, I've always tried it small scale first. So I've had Andrew come, do inset alongside having the book, tried it with, we've picked a book that we think everybody would be most comfortable with first, then had the students work, and then I think on the back of that, that's been a really good starting point.
We also had training with Andrew Moffat, who came down and spent a day teaching across the school, and then that supported the delivery, the questioning, the ability to be able to look at a range of themes. We talked about it at governors' meetings. I shared the programme with governors. We talked about how this promoted our curriculum, how it supported our strategic equality plan, and ensured that we were able to use modern resources that were exciting and vibrant and that children were interested in.
We had like a town hall meeting and we spoke about our current PSHE offer and why we wanted to embark on the No Outsiders journey. We showed them Andrew's video. We also had different tables set up with a variety of books, and we were just there really informal, coffee and a biscuit, have a chat, have a look at our resources, ask us any questions, and also ask us how because I think some of our parent questions were how the parents should talk to their children about this as much as anything. So we very much wanted to be on that journey together right from the start.
So we always consult with our parents. Our curriculum is shared with parents, and anything that we do in school, we let parents know about it beforehand, because we find that if you have those open lines of communication with people, and people, if parents and families feel like things aren't being done behind their back, then they will be much more open. Sometimes we have parents who do send in a concern, and we see that as a really welcome opportunity to get them into school and to have a conversation about what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. 99% of the time we find that means that they go away feeling happy and feeling confident.
I really want to work with this. What do you think? Governors were on board, so then we started to let parents know. So we informed them in some newsletters, but we also sent them all of the parental booklets that are on the No Outsiders website, and then we said to parents, please come in and see the books. So we bought all the books, the 7 books for each year group, and we put them out on display in the hall when we had things like parents' evening, our open afternoons, so that parents could literally come in and leaf through the books. And that we found was really reassuring to parents, because they said, oh, they are just children's picture books that carry a really lovely message.
Just this morning I was showing some parents around and they were really impressed with the No Outsiders curriculum. They were looking at the displays and talking to me about the names of the texts, and oh, that is really interesting story. I was like, yeah, this is one of our No Outsiders topics.
Is it time? Could you do it in a year? Could you do it in 2 terms to start? Or do you need time to really build up relationships within your school and find the right people to work alongside you to enable it to be authentic, to actually work, and to give yourself the confidence that, because you can't do it on your own.
I would say it's really age appropriate. It's reflecting back to them, their reality. We do have children here who live in families with same-sex parents. We can't ignore that. You know, we need to reflect back to the children what their lives look like. We are quite diverse. We've got children from different faiths, backgrounds. We've had children move here from different countries that don't speak any English when they first arrive. And it's all about saying you belong here and reflecting back their lives to them.
The language, I think, that the children use now, our children will actively say there are no outsiders at Witterson Church Lane. They use that language a lot. I think that issues around playtimes, friends falling out, I think they have reduced. I think that our children are much more understanding of the world around them. One of the things that our children like to do is that when we interview new members of staff, our children will speak to those new members of staff. They will ask them some questions. They ask them some No Outsiders style questions, how they feel about it. They are very critical of anybody that doesn't seem enthusiastic about the No Outsiders curriculum, and they're very they will be very vocal if they feel that person isn't appropriate to be part of our team. So they're very passionate about it.
Andrew came in and did a lesson about valuing other people's points of view, being respectful, listening and speaking out for with your own point of view. He showed the Harry Kane with his One Love armband on. And it was the children that said, oh, that's about having an understanding and being inclusive of people in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning community. The information came from the children. We had a child that says, oh, my sister's got a poster like that on her bedroom wall. The children have a knowledge and actually need to be able to talk about and discuss their feelings towards that and have that open discussion within a primary setting so that it becomes normal.
So we decided to work with our parents slowly, not just one big meeting. So we worked with our parents together in small groups. And what came out of that meeting was really fantastic. That yes, we had 2 or 3 protected characteristics hitting against each other. One was predominantly religion and the other one was sexual orientation. But what came out, it was fantastic that we came out that they could coexist, because what we said very clearly is this is what we're going to teach and help the children understand at school. What you do at home is what you do at home, and we will put those next to each other. But how amazing that our children can grow up with the knowledge of maybe 2 views. I don't know, but they could grow up and as an adult they will be able to make their own choices in life from a real strong base of personal value.
I think because of the training that we had and because of the accessibility of the books, and so how it's so beautifully done, that I thought actually every school needs to have this training to see how easily it can be incorporated into school life. So yeah, we did. We organised a conference to invited Andrew back again, and we had 30 schools from across the island to come and join us on that day. And again, the feedback from the training day was fantastic. And I know that lots of schools went away and ordered the books and have lots of books available and have taken it on.
It sits above a lot of other programmes and alongside a lot of other programmes, the values that we take every month, the rights respecting agenda that we promote, the character-based education that we do through some of our teamwork. All of these things, it's not just a scheme or a syllabus, it's part of what adds to the rich tapestry that supports our ecosystem and promotes equality, diversity.
I think you get more confident the more that you do it, because, you know, it would be a lie to say that sometimes a child doesn't come up and say something. So again, in that Pride Assembly, I did have one child who said, no, I don't think we do need to celebrate Pride anymore. But for me as a head, that's a real starting point into that conversation. Because when this child made this comment, I sort of explored it with him a little bit, and we explored it as a group together. And what it turned out was that actually what he was thinking was that, well, we're really good at that here. At Deansfield, we don't have that problem, so we don't need to have that conversation. And then that led us on to the deeper conversation about the rest of the world.
So I had a really interesting conversation with a child in Year 6 the other day, because we were talking about groups of children that are more likely to be bullied, and the children were doing some research on race and skin colour. And she actually asked the question, which I know has come from the class discussions around the book Mixed. She said to me, well, why is it that white British is always used as the starting point as a comparison? And I thought, goodness, what an interesting question for a child in Year 6 to be asking. How wonderful that they're beginning to start thinking about these things. And it opened up a conversation about the terminology of ethnic minority as opposed to global majority, and a wider conversation about colonialism and the way that we teach in our schools because of the history of our country. And I thought that really shows the impact that in a very short time the No Outsiders project is having. It's enabling our children to think and ask questions and feel they are able to ask questions to understand the world that we live in for themselves.
One of the events we had this year was a poetry competition about difference and diversity, and the theme was all different or welcome, which is how the children will speak to you about No Outsiders. So they all wrote a poem, and then the winners went to the secondary school and delivered that in an evening of celebration about diversity.
I think for me, it's hearing the children saying there are no outsiders here. They are very welcoming. We have quite often children moving in and out of the area. We've had children from Ukraine that have been and moved on. We've had children from other countries. Kent is quite a mixing pot. And they are fantastic because they understand what it means to make somebody welcome.
My advice to any head teachers who are starting the No Outsiders journey, as we did, is to ensure you get the training because of the inspiration and the motivation for the staff.
I'd say go on the website. As I said, Andrew is extremely supportive and generous with his time. Have a chat with him. Look in your local area for schools who are No Outsiders schools and talk to them. Go in, have a look, see how they do it, because all schools do it differently. It's what works with your community. And yeah, just have those conversations. And then when you go back to your school, have a good chat with your staff, and it's about everything we do in schools, bringing everyone with you on that journey.
They're really beautiful books, and I can't sort of say that they haven't worked. It has worked, so do it.
take the step. The really important thing about any school in any part of the country is that they've got to create a safe space for the children that they care for, and a safe space for parents and staff to thrive in. So working alongside No Outsiders has really helped us to integrate some things that we'd already started, and some practice that has enhanced our inclusiveness.
My advice to head teachers is just go. You've got to do this. The world needs it, don't they? I mean, the equality right through the world is so needed. Yet, just take time, have a pause, think what's the best way for your school.
We have a great privilege and a responsibility as school leaders to ensure that we provide our children with a wide range of lenses and viewpoints of society through the curriculum that we deliver and through the ethos that we create in our school. My advice to colleagues would be find out. Knowledge is power. Find out for yourself, have a look at what it is that the programme does. If it's for you and it fits into your ethos, then please look deeply and trial it. Use the resources. Get people involved, collaborate, share. That gains understanding, and understanding will ensure that we will focus on equality, equity and diversity.